Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is currently meeting with members of the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria, SSSN, at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa, Abuja. The meeting is coming in about 48 hours after the president of SCSN, Sheikh Abdul Rashid Hadiyatullah, expressed regrets for supporting the Tinubu-Shettima same-faith ticket last year. According to him, the same-faith ticket adopted by President Bola Tinubu has emerged victorious, and the last general election has not brought any positive change to the lives of Nigerians and even the Muslims. The agenda of the meeting is not made public, but it is believed that the economic and security situations might feature as topics. The Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Bola Tinubu, approved a sum of 9.8 billion naira as renewal fees for the group life assurance for federal government workers. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, disclosed this after Wednesday's FEC meeting. The approval was sequel to a memo presented by the head of civil service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan. The President approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover the federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. Over now, the Federal Executive Council FEC has ordered a thorough investigation into an explosion that rocked Ibadan, Oyo State, on Tuesday. The Council gave the directive as its first meeting in the year 2024, chaired by President Bola Tinubu, briefing State House correspondents shortly after the meeting. The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, said FEC also set up a committee to look into the issues of environmental degradations and deforestation. Kikelomo Okere has details.
The Minister of Defense, Mohammed Badaru, noted that the activities of illegal miners pose a huge challenge to Nigeria. Hence, the committee is to come up with a roadmap for tackling the menace. Constituting the committee, according to Badaru, are the service chiefs and the Minister of Defense, among others.
You are all aware that Mr. President called on us and all the service chiefs to discuss this issue. So concerted effort is being done by security agencies to really look into the situation and stop it immediately.
Similarly, FEC noted with concern the spate of kidnapping in the Federal Capital Territory and mandated the service chief to beef up security in the nation's capital. The Defense Minister explained that during a meeting with the service chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ordered them to swing into action and bring the menace to an end, while attributing the rise in insecurity challenges within the FCT to the military operations in the northwest and parts of the north central, which have forced the bandits to flee from their hideouts.
As you are aware, people are panicking that are saying FCT. Well, these kidnappings happen around the suburb area of FCT in Buhari local government, majorly around towns or locations that are bordering Kaduna and Niger. And this is as a result of the current operation going on in the northwest and some part of north central. The bandits are fleeing and they are getting shelters around this. And the security agencies are working too very hard to push them out.
Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kike, for that report. Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed optimism that the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, would help galvanize gross domestic product GDP growth on the continent. The spokesperson of the Vice President, Stanley Kocha, said this in a statement on Thursday that Shettima spoke during a breakfast with African heads of state to launch the action plan for AfCFTA. The breakfast was held on the sidelines of the ongoing World Economic Forum, WEF, held in Davos, Switzerland. Shettima said that based on the World Bank projections, AfCFTA would increase Africa's GDP by $450 billion in 2035 and exports by more than 81%. He also observed that negotiations have turned out to be too slow, with clashes between national and continental priorities. This, according to him, has led to few consummated deals among countries since January 2021 to date. He urged Africans' private sector players to be proactive in stepping up to the plate to occupy their pride of place in trade on the continent. Now, on the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris says President Bola Tinubu has approved the payment of renewal fees for the group life assurance of federal government workers. Addressed newsmen after the first federal executive in Abuja, he said the president approved about 9.6 billion naira for 12 local insurance firms to cover the federal workers in case of unforeseen eventualities in the course of their duties. Fauzia Lukman has details.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) expressed concerns over rising cost of goods and services in the country.
The federal government today approved the group life assurance for all federal government staff as submitted by the head of service. About 12 companies were involved. Nigerian insurance companies were involved, and about 9.8 billion naira was approved by Council to settle the group life assurance claims.
Also briefing journalists after the meeting, Attorney General and Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi disclosed that Council mandated him to obtain the National Assembly's ratification of the tax liberalization agreement signed between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates (UAE) during President Tinubu's visit to the country.
Rising cost of goods and services in the country, as well as the rising cost of doing business in Nigeria, and also noted the excitement and optimism of the real sector that the renewed hope agenda will bring a prosperous 2024. We deliberated on how we can actually improve the manufacturing, the ease of doing, improve the business environment for manufacturers and industrialists.
Council noted that the agreement between both countries, that is between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, include personal income tax, company income tax, petroleum profit tax, information technology, levy, tertiary education tax, and capital gain tax. Because of the effect of this cooperation or the benefits that will accrue to Nigeria, the Council agreed and directed that the agreement that had been signed already should be taken further by mandating, authorizing the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to prepare a bill along this line to take to the National Assembly for ratification. The effect of this is that it has ceased to be an ordinary agreement, but an agreement between two countries. Other countries will follow, but the one that we immediately leverage on is the one between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates. Apart from this one, Council also decided that going forward, we should also have a very solid national policy on taxation that will drive or attract foreign investment.
Meanwhile, before the commencement of the first Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in the year, President Bola Tinubu had sworn in Ambassador Desmond Akawo as Commissioner of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. Fauzia Lukman, Global TV News.
Thank you, Fauzia, for that report. The Cross River State Ministry of Health has raised the alarm over an outbreak of Lassa fever, which has already claimed one life in Eja community of Ospang Ward 1, Obubura local government area of the state. In a statement signed by the Commissioner of Health, Dr. Egbe Ayok, and made available to newsmen on Thursday, citizens were notified of the outbreak following an investigation carried out on the disease, which confirmed he died of Lassa fever. The State Rapid Response Team will be going to Obubura on Thursday to join the local government area team to ensure contact tracing, line listing, and the decontamination of affected premises. The commissioner stated that awareness creation and risk communication, as well as mobilization of Lassa fever commodities, consumables, and personal proactive equipment to General Hospital, Obubura, and other locations have been activated. The Federal High Court in Abuja today declared null and void the provisions of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code authorizing the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) to impose fines on broadcast stations for alleged breaches of the code, as it ruled that administrative and regulatory bodies could not exercise judicial powers. Delivering judgment in a suit instituted by Media Rights Agenda (MRA) against NBC, following the Commission's imposition of fines of 5 million naira each on a television station and 3 paid TV platforms in 2022 for allegedly undermining Nigeria's national security by broadcasting documentaries on banditry in Nigeria. Justice Rita Ofili Ojobo-Bobia held that the NBC, not being a court of law, acted above its powers by imposing such fines. The judge commended MRA for its legal challenge of NBC's action and issued an order of perpetual injunction restraining the commission for anyone acting on its behalf for further imposing any fine on any media platform or broadcast station in Nigeria for any alleged offense committed on the Nigerian Broadcasting Code. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has his administration will make it unbearable for bandits to operate in the Federal Capital Territory. Wike made this known at the town hall meeting with residents of the Buhari Area Council over the high level of insecurity in the territory. Kikelamo Okere tells us more.
Cases of kidnapping have increased in the country, with the recent situation being the abduction of 6 sisters from their residence in Zuma 1 in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory on the 5th of January 2024. The FCT minister says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed him and all service chiefs to explore all necessary means to bring an end to the kidnapping and killing of residents by bandits in Buhari and other areas in the Federal Capital Territory, adding that the President has approved the provision of all necessary tools and logistics required by security operatives to combat insecurity in the FCT, and as such, there is no room for excuses by security operatives.
Mr. President, in the Hope agenda, we want to face squarely. It is no longer going to be business as usual. Everything has to be done to protect life and property. Without protection of life and property, then we have no business to be in government. Without information, there's nothing we can do. And that is where you have to play a key role. Traditional institution, you have a role to play. Community leaders, you have a role to play. Because by information, you help the security agencies to proactively take control.
He further reassured residents of the area of drastic changes as regards the security situation, while appealing to all stakeholders to support security agencies with information to win the war. He further appealed to residents of the FCT to desist from the use of radio or social media to speak on the operations of the bandits or donation for victims, as he says it only fuels the bandits and promotes their action to carry out more operations.
And so in the next few days, you will see the action of the security agencies to make sure that this kidnapping is brought to a halt. So I condole with you, I sympathize with you for the death of some of our people, for the kidnap of some of our people.
The demand of 600 million naira as ransom from the kidnappers has generated public outcry, with the police authority vowing to secure the release of the victims. Kikelamo Okere, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Customs Service said the agency has not raised duties paid on imports, adding that it only aligned with the new foreign exchange FX rate prescribed by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Comptroller General of the service, Adewale Adeniyi, stated this in Abuja. The customs boss explained that the decision was part of repercussions of the CBN's effort at enforcing a single FX window. The increase, the third in 2023, reportedly drove the cost of clearing a 40-foot container from 7.3 million naira to 8.9 million naira. But Adeniyi argued that the customs could not independently or unilaterally use new exchange rates without recourse to the merged FX window. He said the new administration has not made any pretension towards the fact that it was going to take a number of very bold decisions and reforms aimed at repositioning the Nigerian economy, and reforms that will bring sustainable change over a long period of time. And now over to the Independent National Electoral Commission. INEC has begun its constitutional responsibility of conducting the verification of the status of political parties in the country. The Director Election and Party Monitoring, Hawa Habibu, made this known when she led INEC's Election and Parties Monitoring team on a visit to the National Chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje. Habibu said the visit was part of the Commission's annual verification of political parties. The team will go around to verify the offices with our forms to give us the structure of the party as to whether the Electoral Act provision of minimum of 24 members of different states of the Federation and the FCT have been complied. She added that the team would also verify the party's audited account. You're watching AM News live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When AM News return, Gombe Yola Bauchi to experience two-day blackout TCN. The news continues shortly with details, and these are more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of AM News. Thank you for staying with us. A former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, is currently in court to seek verification of his bail conditions. The former CBN governor is standing trial on 6 counts bordering on procurement fraud to the tune of 1.2 billion naira. This was the first time he would be making an appearance in court with outstream-looking armed security personnel guiding him to the courtroom. Emefiele was released from Kuje Custodial Center by December 23, 2023, 34 days after the judge admitted him to bail. He's asking the court to review some terms of his bail conditions. The Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Uba Megiri, has stressed the importance of steel as the backbone of modern infrastructure and industrial development in Nigeria. Megiri described the materials and metal sector as the foundation crucial for economic growth and holistic development in Nigeria. He stated this at the 5th edition of the National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development meeting in Ilorin, Kwara State. In a statement by Ministry's Press and Public Relations Unit, the minister was reported urging stakeholders to be committed to using the sector to help Nigeria prosper and shore up its development. He described the conference as a platform for stakeholders to establish strategic partnership and chart a path for advancing economic transformation for the nation via its minerals and metal sectors. And over now to our foreign decks, police killed 6 suspects in an early morning shootout Thursday near South Africa's coastal city of Durban, saying they had targeted a gang after a spate of house robberies and murders. The South African police, APS, said they operationalized intelligence about the whereabouts of the suspects who were wanted for a spate of house robberies, murders, business robbery, and carjacking. When they arrived at the house in Inanda, a crime-hidden township northwest of the port city, they were met with a hail of bullets. 3 suspects, a woman and 2 men, were arrested. According to the police, 2 rifles and a shotgun were found in the house, as well as a vehicle that was stolen in December. Last September, police killed 18 people in a Ford clash in Transit East shootout in the country's northeast. Hundreds of flights at Frankfurt Airport in Germany were cancelled on Thursday due to a winter storm that forced the airport to briefly suspend takeoff and landings. More than 300 of about 1,000 scheduled flights for Thursday to Frankfurt Airport were cancelled. A spokeswoman for the airport operator, Fred Ford, said on Thursday morning flights were taking off and landing at the airport, but air traffic was still recovering from a storm that brought ice, freezing rain and snow to much of western and southern Germany. It was unclear if additional flights might be cancelled throughout Thursday, as the airport spokeswoman urged passengers to check the status of their flights online before traveling to the airport. And now on our business desk, the Nigerian Communications Commission has suspended its planned barring of Glo subscribers from calling MTN lines for 21 days. The Commission disclosed this in a statement on Thursday signed by its Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, as a follow-up to its pre-disconnection notice issued on January 8, 2024. Announcing its extension, the Commission said the parties have now reached an agreement to resolve an outstanding issue between them. For this reason, it has put the phased disconnection on hold for 21 days from today, January 17, 2024, whilst the Commission expects MTN and Glo to resolve all outstanding issues within the 21 days. The Commission insists that interconnected debt must be settled by all operating companies as a necessary component towards compliance with regulatory obligations of all licenses. Nigeria is seeking $1.5 billion aid from the World Bank to tackle the severe dollar shortage, contributing to the decline of the naira. According to the minister, Africa's largest economy may also issue a euro bond in the late 2024. Adding that with the current economic reforms, the country deserves support. Euro bonds denominated in foreign currencies offer Nigeria a mechanism to navigate its financial landscape amidst challenging economic conditions. Nigeria is currently battling with about 87 trillion naira debt, which the International Monetary Fund said was manageable, but noted that the interest payment was high for the country. The minister said the new World Bank loan would be used to finance development, disclosing that the facility will be disbursed to Nigeria very soon. Electricity consumers in Gombe and some parts of Yola and Bauchi states will experience power outage on Thursday and Friday as a result of scheduled maintenance of power facilities by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The TCN announced that its maintenance crew will carry out scheduled preventive maintenance on the bay of its transformer Friday, July 19, 2024. According to a statement by TCN General Manager of Public Affairs Ndidi Umba, the maintenance will last 8 hours, running from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. today. Umba disclosed that to commence the maintenance exercise, TCN would transfer the load from TI transformers to its T2A transformers in the same substation, adding that consequently there would be an interruption of bulk power supply to just Anyola Discos to the TIA transformer. And on sports, Ivory Coast midfielder CK Fofana has warned Nigerian Super Eagles that his team is prepared to face them when the two sides meet on Thursday evening at the ongoing 2024 Cup of Nations. Fofana, who scored the tournament's first goal against Guinea-Bissau last Sunday, said Ivory Coast would have to fight hard to beat the Super Eagles. Nigerians in third with 1 point. The match is set to started and finished good yesterday. And that's it on AM News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. See you again. Good morning.